Hey friends, I'm Jocelyn Peters, the maker and designer behind Mountain Song Designs, and welcome to this episode. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all of the patterns that have come to my shop in the last 2 weeks, plus a knit along with all of the rules and some discounts for you. So let's get started. So to start, just so you know, all of these patterns that you're about to see can be found on my Ravelry shop, Jocelyn Peters Designs or Mountain Song Designs, and also through Etsy. It's MTN Song Designs. So let's get started. The first pattern that I added, it's been almost 2 weeks now, is my knitting bee quilt. Check it out. Oh my goodness, you guys, this is huge. It's a lap size quilt, but it's knit, and you guys, it's seamless. I've been talking about this some, so you may have already heard some, but this pattern, look at that. So it has lace squares, and it has the garter squares, and it has a 2-color garter border. This is made with Caron 1 pound. So it's an Aran weight, and there are 12 lace squares and 12 garter squares. And y'all, there's no seaming. There's literally no seaming in this entire thing, because I have to tell you, personally, I like the look of a multicolored squares quilt that's been knit, but I wanted something more than your standard. You all have seen all of the cozy memories and those, which are adorable and wonderful, and I know people love making those, but I wanted something that could incorporate some lace and maybe a center out square. So I made this. It took a long time to figure out all of the details, but I think it's worth it. The cool thing is that this applies to basically any yarn weight that you want to use. So if you have, maybe you have an Advent minis coming to you, or you have them that you have bought in the past, you have 24 20-gram skeins of fingering weight yarn. Well, in the fingering weight yarn, 1 square is about 10 grams. Mine took a little bit less, but if you have 10 grams, you should be good. The fingering weight one that I made was scrappy. I'll show a picture here. But it was with 48 lace squares and 48 garter squares. It's the same size as this. So the squares, basically, the fingering weight ends up having 4 squares for every 1 square in the Aran weight. Of course, it takes a lot longer, but you get to use up all of those. For me, it was stash. Maybe it's minis. Maybe you have a huge collection that you know would look really good together and you want a blanket. This is a great one for that. I have my Substack post that talks all about it, and in it, or maybe it was on Instagram, now I can't remember anymore, but I was thinking about this, and each of these, okay, so when you knit a blanket, it usually feels really long, right? Because this is big. It takes a long time. But with these, it feels like each square is a mini project, and it feels like a mini win at the end of each of these. So this project was more of 24 mini FOs plus the border. It's like 25 FOs instead of one huge one that took a month. Now the fingering weight will take longer, but that's okay. It's been really fun working on it. And full disclosure, I still have one pass of garter border and then the bind off. So I'll be sharing that with you next time as an FO finally. But I've so enjoyed working on both weights. Of course, the Aran is much quicker. Fingering weight is still a joy. So that is my knitting bee quilt. There is a KAL for this, a knit along. I will share the rules with that with you after I share my other 2 patterns that have come out recently. So let's move on to the next one. The next pattern that I have to share with you was actually originally published 2 years ago, but it is now a part of my shop. It has finally come to my shop, and it is the Docs Socks pattern. You'll see it up there on the wall too, but this pattern is both DK weight and fingering weight. Originally it was all in one document, and I reformatted it, so now it's 2 separate ones. You can buy them separately if you know you'll never knit DK socks, that's fine. Or if you want both, you can buy them together for a pretty steep discount when you buy them both together. So let's talk about it. Let's look at this one. Check that out. You've got the waffly fabric and these long lines that go all the way. The twisted rib goes straight into the heel. It's designed so that it does not end. It's a continuous twisted rib. There's a little bit of a tweak you have to do to make it work, and you can totally do it. The pattern walks you through it. These were really fun. They're Doc's socks, so Doc Martens. I was sort of in a 90s kick, using inspiration from the 90s. And I was thinking about, so when I was in high school in the 90s, I loved my Doc Martens. I loved them. And one of my favorite outfits to wear with them were my cords, my corduroy pants, and a waffle fabric shirt that was really popular then. And I've already seen all of the waffle fabric making its way back into stores. So I'm sure the cords are close behind if they haven't already made it there. But that's what's in these socks. These are the cords. This is the waffle fabric shirt, and they're nice and tall so they can fit under your boots. Of course, you can alter that to make it whatever size you want. But let me tell you about the yarn. This is Lolodidit yarn. This is Loriginal, and the mini is the little Lolo, so the mini skein, Rumpelstiltskin, and Linden Tree. So we're channeling our inner Lord of the Rings. So that is this fingering weight sock. The DK weight sock is here. It's the same design. You'll have the wider waffle fabric, still have the cord, still goes down through. This is Prince. This is Dowager Countess, and this is on the Lolodidit USA DK sock weight. DK weight is so quick. Oh my gosh, socks on DK weight, when you're used to knitting socks, seriously, the large is kind of like knitting a size small on this. So if you are normally knitting large socks, whether it's for you or loved ones, DK is the way to go. Super cozy. I love wearing mine, especially now that the weather's starting to get a little bit chillier. They're fantastic. Love them. So that's the Docs socks, DOCS. And the final pattern, which came out today, this is my Fade into Neverland DK socks. So we've got a good fade here. They are DK weight. And yes, this looks like a heel flap and gusset, but guess what? It's not. It's a toe-up sock. It fits like a heel flap and gusset, but it is written with a really special technique to get this heel to fit exactly like a heel flap and gusset. You no longer have to knit short row heels on your DK socks if that is not your preference. I know a lot of people love them, and I enjoy making short row heels. I enjoy making them. They just don't sit on my heel very well, but these fit so well. And then we've got the ribbing in here so that they fit really nicely. So yeah, we've got our Fade into Neverland. Now these, I published these maybe a year and a half ago for fingering weight. So you can purchase the fingering weight if you haven't already. Now it's on DK weight. I wanted to work out the numbers because this is such a special heel. I wanted to make sure that those of you who love DK weight socks like me can have that available to you. Worked through all the numbers for you. Oh man, I have so loved knitting these and looking at these colors. Look at these speckles. Oh my gosh. So the yarn is Gabie's Knit Goodies on Etsy. This is Caramel Macchiato, and this is Monet Water Lilies. Two things I love. But this is the DK Merino nylon base. I know it's on the shop right now. I just saw it today. So it's so soft and squishy and cozy and a joy to knit with. So definitely check these out. Check out that yarn and check out the pattern. Now, if you did not purchase the fingering weight of the Fade into Neverland socks when it first came out, I have it as a bundle on Etsy or as an ebook on Ravelry. It's the same way with the Doc socks. It's a bundle on Etsy, ebook on Ravelry, and the bundle or ebook there. It's always going to be at a discount if you buy both together. For this one, if you go to Substack for today's post, you'll be able to get an extra discount on this ebook. Substack is the place to find all of the information, all of the best discounts. I'm Mountain Song Designs on Substack. It's easiest if you subscribe, and then if you are interested in the pattern, then it comes right to your inbox, all of the information, and always the best discounts. I tend to give maybe about a 30% discount, which I still think is pretty great, on Instagram, and I post it on Ravelry, but you get extra off if you purchase it through, if you check through Substack to get the extra coupon codes. Now on Etsy, when I have a sale like this introductory sale, it's automatically 30% off, so you don't need a coupon code. Speaking of Etsy, they are doing their Cyber Week, and we are participating. I am participating. There's no we. It's just me. So everything in my shop is 25% off. Also, I figured I might as well go ahead and run the same sale on Ravelry. So the code on Ravelry is right here. Also, the code for Doc Socks I'll post here on the screen for 30% off. And my Knitting Bee Quilt, you got to catch it quick though. The Knitting Bee Quilt sale is over on Thanksgiving, like Thanksgiving night. So check that out. Here's the code for that for 30% off. And for the Doc Socks, 30% off the individual patterns is this code now. I should have had them in front of me, but I'll just put them on the screen. You can check it. So that's that. Substack, just go there. You'll have all the information. So I'm going to get out my notes now, and I'm going to share with you all of the KAL announcement rules and all that fun stuff. So hang on one second. All right, so for the Knitting Bee Quilt, I figured this was the perfect way to have a knit along. We are going to do it on Instagram. This is my first knit along that I'm hosting. So I'm just trying this out. We're going to see how this goes. And if you like it, let me know. If you don't, let me know in a nice way. But the rules for this knit along are, oh, and by the way, this is all laid out for you in the Substack post called Knit a Quilt with Me. You can go there and find all of this information written down, but I'll go ahead and share with you now. It runs for 3 months, so it started November 14th on the day that the pattern came out, and it runs through Valentine's Day, so February 14th, 2025. It will be on Instagram. You have to follow me. I am at Mountain Song Designs on Instagram, and make sure you include the hashtags, the hashtag Knitting Bee Quilt KAL, and tag me at Mountain Song Designs. So the way to earn points, for every square that you complete, whether it's a lace square or a garter square, you get a point. For your finished blanket, or honestly, if you want to turn it into like a cardigan or something, if you want to get kind of creative with what you turn it into, that's okay. A finished object or blanket will count as a point. Every post that you share on Instagram, that includes both the hashtag knitting bee quilt KAL and tags me at Mountain Song Designs, will count for a point. Obviously, if you complete a square, it should be in a picture. It should be posted there. And then in your final Instagram post, it has to be shared by the end of the day on February 14th. You need pictures of all your squares or FOs. You need to include the total number of squares that you completed, because I can't look through and count every single square. I'm gonna believe that you're gonna make so many of these, so I need you to put that number in there for me. And it would be great if you could put the total points earned, kind of keep track of how many you've done. I'm going to go through and double check everything, confirm everything, but it would help me and probably help you too if you could put that in there. So that's it. Also, if you were one of my test knitters, you get to count all of your squares. So that's one of the benefits of being a test knitter. If you're interested in test knitting, you can always fill out the test knitter application. It gives me your information so I can invite you to our Discord group. So that is something I have. I will probably have it in the description, the link to that application. Or if you follow me on Instagram, which you would need to if you want to participate in this, there are all the links to everything in my profile. You can always find everything there. We'll have some prizes, so you get as many points entered into the drawing, and I'm going to be giving away some of my patterns. And also, I'm planning on curating a prize out of my stash. I have an amazing stash and a lot of stuff you can't get anymore, and I haven't quite decided. I'm gonna have fun going through and picking something out. So that is the plan for the knit along. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can always email me, whether it's for pattern support or for questions or whatever. mountainsongdesigns@gmail.com. That is the email address, the best place to get a hold of me. I don't always see messages on Ravelry and Instagram and places like that. So email's the best thing. So I think that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you check out Ravelry and Etsy and Instagram and Substack for sure. Substack. So I really appreciate your being here. I hope that you have checked out these patterns. If you've bought them, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And if you knit these patterns, I'd love to see them. Share them on Ravelry, share them on Instagram. Let me know that you're knitting them. So thanks for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful week. If you're celebrating Thanksgiving or not, I still hope your week is wonderful. And I'll see you next time. Sláinte mhath and happy knitting. Bye.